For today's video, we have the question and answer video from the questions that have been posted in my weekly review video. And we have about 77 questions here, or 77 comments, so maybe 65 questions or so. So see how we go getting through them. But yeah. So definitely, before I start answering the questions, I think the next 2 weeks are going to be the hardest 2 weeks in Supercoach, especially for people that are struggling in that last buy round. I'm looking at probably fielding 14 in that last buy round, and don't fall into a false sense of security. Oh, George is, or I am fielding 14. That means, that's okay if I'm fielding 15. It's not okay. We're screwed. So I'm not sure there's a way around it. It's just I don't have the trades, nor do I want to really trade any of my premiums. So and then there's the thing that Whitfield was doing laps, so I don't know how much I read into that. Whitfield was doing laps at training as reported today. That's not an unofficial source, but hopefully we get a bit more information on that. And then there's Bontempelli, how far, how many limbs do you cut off to get Bontempelli in? So there's a few decisions, and then there's rookies that we need to pop up, and it's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult next 2 weeks. But for me, and then also we have to monitor Impy with Will Day coming back in, because Clarko's already screwed with Impy. Don't know why they put their best player, changed his position, but that's whatever. So that's why my plan for this week, I'm probably going to do the 2, if a rookie pops up 3 trades. I want to make sure I'm open to doing 4 trades, or three to four trades next week, just to see how we go. So I want to be in a position where, maybe I can do something with Impy if something happens. Monitor Whitfield. If it's not Whitfield, then I'll probably just go Stewart. So just a few things to keep in mind. But anyway, we'll get straight into the video. And I think there's a few questions on Bont and stuff like that, so we'll see how we go. John O'Carroll, would you entertain the idea of trading Grundy? It depends on with trading premiums, it really depends on your trade, how many you have left. So if you have enough trades left where you can finish a team with, say 3 trades left, I'd be bare minimum. Depends on your risk profile on your team as well. Then you could do it, because it would have to be to like a Took Miller or Josh Kelly. There's no point going to a ruckman. You just field Reeves or CCJ, and then you upgrade them last. So I think you can trade Grundy for 2 rounds. Yeah, I think that's okay. But I would want to get him in as soon as possible, because Grundy is still a probably top 4, top 3 player in the league for Supercoach. And yeah, his break-even's really high. So he might, even if he goes berserk the next 2 weeks, he probably still maintains, or even still drops price when he comes back. So make sure you get Grundy back. So I think you can do it. Yeah, because it's 2 rounds he's out. Took Miller, Nicky Tyrell, Took or Kelly? I'm gonna say Took. It's a really, really hard question, because Kelly's a more known quantity, probably a higher ceiling, better fixture for sure. But with Josh Kelly, it feels like you're slightly going. It's a slight casino pick with his role with Canelo and Daniels coming back. It might be 1 or 2 games he plays forward. It might be 5 games. It might be 0 games. And really, a lot of those games where he was averaging forward, like 90 playing half forward, but he kicked like 3 or 4 clutch goals that boosted him, where he was looking for a 70 score if that didn't happen. So Kelly's such a really hard one. I think Took if you have the money. If you don't have the money, then Kelly. But look, Kelly could outscore Took, but I don't know. If you have the money, go Took, just for the security of role. And I think Took's durability is pretty good. I think he had a heel injury 2 years ago. Other than that, it's pretty spotless. Kobe says, as a Tigers fan, RCD is really good, but with players returning from injury like Edwards and Cochin and Prestia, he's always going to get 0 mid-time. I don't agree. Yeah, I know he didn't play much mid-time on the weekend, but I don't think he's good at all. He has no tank, and his disposal's terrible. So you put him anywhere other than inside mid, and he's a complete liability. So I want to trade him this week. I don't think he's good, to be honest. But if he can clean up disposal and improve endurance, he might be a bit better. But it's third year now, and if that hasn't improved, that's a bit of a worry. But yeah, okay at winning the ball. Teletubby Hawthorn. I want to luxury trade Impy. This is from a Hawthorn supporter. But will leave me with 1 or 2 injury trades. Oh, I wouldn't do that. 1 injury trade, no. 1 injury trade over 11 rounds, I wouldn't do that. 2, maybe if you have good rookie cover and you're prepared to hold short-term injuries, but 1, no. I don't think this, yeah, you're not in a position to trade MP if you have 1 or 2 injury trades. If you did that trade, you would get the top 8 mids. Bont, McRae, Steele, Oliver, Merritt, Walsh, Lyons. It's a really nice midfield. And Parrish as well. Okay, so I guess, given you have that pretty sick midfield, no, I still just hold MP. I think he wants to get MP to like a super primo mid. I would hold. I think you're treading too lightly on trades there. It's a long way to go, especially if you have a guy, I don't know what your team looks like, but maybe you have Aaron Hall. He also asks, what are your thoughts on my trades? RCD, Warner, and James Jordan, and R2 for Hall, Whitfield, Bianco, CCJ. Yep, that's fine. Yep, that's very good. Those 4 trades are good. I know Bianco and CCJ have inconvenient buy, but I think you just have to have them. CCJ provides, I mean, I guess it's unbelievable cover or money if you need it later on. And then Bianco, if you can swing him as well in defense somehow, or, you know, he's going to be, I see Bianco as cover for the rest of the year, so I think you don't pass that up. George, the lack of rookies missing the last buy round, would Paddy Dow be worth a look? No. Don't pick Dow. When you're in your 4th year and you've shown like barely anything, then that's a sign that you're a bust. No. Chris, I thought you got Heaney in last week. I was like, he's gonna drink again. Thankfully not. Yeah, I was close, but I just like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't do it. I just preferred the security of Dale, and lucky I did that. Maybe I should have a drink as well, because I captained Parrish in Dream Team, but fielded Heaney over Zorko. And Dawkins instead of Poulter. Finished 99th. Very nice. I don't know. How did you field? I don't know. Never mind. Clements. I'm so happy that I started with Bont. Yeah. I think everyone would be if you had him. Not having Bont is literally the worst thing. He's the one player, like there's Lyons, there's Parrish, there's Guthrie, all these players gone berserk, but Bont is the one that will, yeah, I'm not sure why he hasn't gotten tagged yet, but Bont is the one that will, there's a 200 game coming, so yeah. Rowan, score 2022 and looking for doing 3 upgrades this week. Hall, Whitfield and Jelly. Any issues with these 3 picks? Sort of, because it seems like a lot of collective risk. But at the same time, I think most people have Hall at this stage, and most people getting Whitfield. And then Jelly hasn't really had durability issues for 2 years, besides 1 game where he set out from like some sort of soft tissue soreness. It wasn't a strain, just sore. I guess you could do it. I would want to know that you have some injury trades ready to go. I think it's fine. Just the chances of all 3 playing every game for the rest of the year, I would say are 0. Maybe like 5%. So make sure you have good cover. Happy to have started with Tom McDonald. Hope he keeps up the great work. Yeah, it's been a great pick. If you picked Tom McDonald, I don't think anyone really saw that one coming. Reed Dog, is it confirmed we're getting extra trades? Yeah, we have 2 trades extra over the next. Yeah, we just get 2 trades, and then we get, instead of 3 trades over the next 2 weeks, we get 4 to use. I hate it. I don't get it, but just whatever. Move on. Okay, some just random comments here. Who do you think the best primos are in the round 12 buy round? I'm thinking at Took Miller, Josh Kelly, and maybe Aaron Hall. Throw in Whitfield, so Miller, Jelly, Hall, Whitfield. Tom Hawkins is okay. Tom Hawkins went 200 on Port last year, and he's playing Port this week. So yeah, I think you've named them. So Miller, Jelly, Hall, Whitfield, and then it's Tom Hawkins in the forward line. But I don't really love Tom Hawkins. I'd prefer Dale or Shai Bolton to him. But I guess with the bye you get an extra round. So Took Miller's probably the best one. Probably Aaron Hall is the best actually, but Aaron Hall does stress me out a little bit. I think, okay, well, number one is actually Whitfield, and then it's probably Aaron Hall, just because he's a forward and high ceiling. And then Miller and Jelly. I feel like if you have the money, you go Miller. If you don't, you go Jelly. I think it's as simple as that. So just know with Jelly there's risk, but nothing more to add really here. Again, a lot of the players coming off their bye. Guthrie as well, but Guthrie had the AC joint, so I don't think it's wise to bring in Guthrie this week. So yeah, probably like Whitfield and Hall. And then yeah, Miller, Jelly. Depends on your money. Do I trade Heaney out? I think most people will probably trade him out next week. It's been good if you got him for 340. If you got him 400, probably pretty bad. Heaney's one where you got to understand the nature of Heaney. Some games he will be sore. Some games he will be not sore. So most games he's played this year, he's been really good. A few games here and there. Broke his thumb, jarred his ankle, what else did he do? Broke his fist by punching someone. So he's unbelievable how he just gets all these injuries. But so do you trade him in round 14? I think you can if you want, because a lot of people will need to flip one, especially if you're down really, really bad and you got to do something with these extra trades. So I feel like a lot of people are going to trade out a premium or two in the last buy round. I think maximum one for me that I'll trade out. We'll see. Just cop the hit. But if you can trade him in the last buy round, you can do that. If you have other plays you want to trade out, because remember Heaney's pretty cheap, so it's like an upgrade to probably need like another 100k. If you like Langford, I like Langford, but he's slight risk, but could go to him. But yeah, just with Heaney, the nature of him is some days he looks like he's not injured, some days he is. Don't know what maybe for every 2 good games he has 1 bad game, so that's what it's pretty much been so far this season. So just depends, but yeah, I guess he's probably the one you trade out because technically he's injured. So yeah, Jelly, Took, or Guthrie this week. So getting a lot of these questions. Look, Guthrie's the best one, but we don't know about his AC joint, so I think it's Took. But yeah, Jelly has the best. I don't know if upside's the right word. Jelly would be the most value, but again, Jelly is like. I speak to JD a lot on this one, and he doesn't want to go back because he doesn't trust Leon Cameron. It took injuries for Josh Kelly to start playing midfield again, and when they get those injuries back, well, who knows? But seems pretty stupid to play him in the forward line. Yeah, it's like playing Parrish in the forward line. Like, it doesn't make sense. They can be an effective forward. Maybe Jelly's better forward, but Jelly's quite a really good half forward. It's just that you're getting a lot less value playing him in the forward line over the midfield. So I don't know, but yeah, I think it's probably Took Miller because there's no issue with Took. There is an issue with Guthrie and Jelly. It's as simple as that. I need a new comb too. Okay. Interesting comment. Liam Collis. Murphy played forward majority this week and was really good because his job was just to contest everything and put pressure on, so I don't think he's scoring much anymore if he continues to do that. I guess at least he's playing, but it's destroyed his cash gen, so Murphy's like, he's barely a cover. What are you going to get? Like a 40 if you're lucky, if he covers you? So he's kind of dead and you just keep him there and maybe you downgrade him if you need his money. But yeah, good to point that out. Okay, Tom Egan. So you're not going to like my answers to this. I need 2 rookies, but I already have got CCJ, Bianco, and Reeves. Who do I get? That is not a good spot to be in. I hate to be captain in hindsight, but this was where you kind of had to, bank a downgrade a few weeks ago. There's no one. There's Luke Edwards from... I think Luke Edwards holds, but Tim Kelly's coming back, so not 100% sure he holds, but I think they should play him for the West Coast. But he also has the bad bye, so there's none. You have to wait for team names and see. You can go early on rookies, absolutely, at the moment. I guess it depends on the rookie, but if a rookie's named and he's playing this round and possibly next round, I would just take him, but it does depend. We need more info. Maybe I'll do a video Thursday night when team names come out. I don't have an answer for you at the moment. It doesn't sound like Newcomb. Sounds like he'll play, but not necessarily this week, but I'm not sure. I think Alistair Clarkson's comments on Newcomb, who's the mid-season 102k rookie for Hawthorn, he's been playing pretty well for Box Hill, so already in their system. I think Clarko said that he's still pretty green at the moment, but they expect green. I assume that means like not raw, but sort of raw-ish, if that makes sense. Like still needs a bit of work. So yeah, that's what he said, and then that he'll play at some stage. He's likely to get games this season, but didn't say when. So I guess we'll wait if we get wait. When I do team names videos, we'll assess a few rookies and we'll do some research on them. Matt Patterson, I have 6 defenders and bringing Whitfield in, moving Laird into my mids. I think that's fine. Whitfield's probably the best 500k player at the moment, coming off his bye, mid or forward, so I think that's fine. Who should I trade out of Waitman or Cox? I assume Waitman can make a bit more money, whereas Cox probably... what's his break even? Have a quick look. Nick Cox, been a really good rookie, surprising. Break even at 40. I think I'd still trade Cox. Cox, yeah. It's with rookies, it's a bit of a lotto. I think Waitman's a little cheaper, and Waitman should probably make a bit more money. Who scores better in the round 14 is an absolute lotto. Yeah, you make more money off Cox, and Waitman's break even's lower, so probably him. But yeah, I'm not sure who scores more in round 14. I'd trade Cox. Would you consider going Ridley, Mansell and Jordan Clark? Oh my goodness, Jordan Clark. To Reeves, 102k and Bont. Leaves me with 12 trades and 2 upgrades. All the rookies I want to trade in need to play next week. I want the rookies I want. All the rookies I want to trade in need to play next week. I think a lot of us are in the same boat. I personally was planning, I just need 1 rookie to pop up. If you're looking for 2 rookies, it might be a bit of an issue. It looks like you just need 1 102k rookie. I don't think, on the podcast we debated this, I'm okay with trading in a 102k donut such as Newcomb, who should play at some stage, even if that means a donut through the buys. So it means you probably miss out on 50 points, but it gets you Marcus Bontempelli, and that's all that matters really. So I guess you could do it. It doesn't really help your buy situation all that much. I guess Reeves you'd need to have, so Mansell's not going to score anything, and Ridley is not really sure. I think it's up to what the coach wants to do with him, as to whether he scores. So I think I'd love to piss him off, but I can't. So yeah, I think those trades are okay. I guess you got to make sure you're okay for the buys as well. But yeah, 11 trades upgrades to go should be fine. I think you're in a good position to do that. Hey George, great video as always. I mentioned the same situation. Next round is good, and then last buy round, I'm turning to alcohol. Yeah, me and you both. Thoughts on trading and took Miller, absolute beast, and rated him since round 1. Yeah, he's got sort of the support of being proven last year. Seems to have gone to another level this year. Although he's had a good run. His fixture is not as easy as it has been, so I would expect like 115 from Took as a high ceiling, but just because the fixture gets a little bit harder. But yeah, it could be 120 for the rest of the year, could be 110. My guess would be 115. So for 600k, I guess that's okay. But yeah, there's the ceilings there, and he's coming off his buy. A lot of the other players aren't coming off their buy, so slim pickings. But he's the one, I think. George had the matchup on you this week. Saw you set the captain and went different to Walsh, but good job, mate. Yeah, I had it on Walsh and then I took it off, and I was going out that day, so I had to put it on before I left home. So I was like, oh, do I do Walsh? Do I do McRae? And I was like, which one's going to stress me out the least? McRae. So I did that one. Is Aaron Hall a good option? Yes. Would you advise bringing in Bont at 680? I think there's a few more of these questions. So, it's such a hard question because I think Bont goes like 135 for the rest of the year. Plays Hawthorn and Crows still, and I think last year he went 200 and 170 on those two teams, or 160 or something. So, I wonder if he gets tagged. I don't think this O'Connor's playing next week for Geelong. I think he's still injured, but it might come in when they play them there. I think you do if you can with Bont. The problem is it's getting to the point where when you need Bont, people might need to start trading in 102k players. You need to like trade like a Brayshaw or a May somehow up to a Bont, which is like it's basically another upgrade. So it's so hard. Like it depends on your team. And look, if you're gonna go down to like less than 3 trades for your final team for injuries once you've had a completed team, then I think no. If so, I think you could do it. Yeah, it's like it depends on your team. I think 680s like you can. What's Bont? He's not gonna go less than 640 for the rest of the year probably. But yeah, he's unbelievable at the moment. Kicking goals, just doing everything. So yeah, those big games are coming. So I think it's okay to pay 680. I mean, betting against Bont, it's probably not going to work. But it just depends. Depends on what your final team looks like and what you have to do to get him. So if you're going down to below 2 injury trades, I probably wouldn't. If 3 injury trades, then I guess it's okay. And then yeah, just got to look after the health of your team. Team's looking pretty good, George. Just got to trust the process and hope for the best, mate. Thanks, mate. I scored 2,120 this week and moved back in top 800. That's a very nice score. Very good. Deli said, thoughts on Pendles getting the halfback role with high special efficiency for 380k, rather him than Heaney. He's mid though, so let's have a quick look. Didn't they have a halfback injury? I can't remember. So Pendlebury, 380k. Pendles has played injured and he's pretty old. Break even at 70. Scored 108. His buy is terrible. I don't see how you can possibly bring in a premium with that buy round. I think if he plays halfback again this week, then there's no halfback flankers coming in. After the buy, I think you could do it. This week, it doesn't really make any sense. So, have a look at him after the buy as a cheap option. I think he'll be competing with like Rao and Chera for that price. So, Chera's been terrible for some reason, but we'll see how Rao goes as well. But I think for probably the best player at that price, but yeah. Hey George, do you think a double or maybe triple downgrade option this week? Jones, Hunter, and McNeil down to CCJ Reeves and maybe Newcomb. Yeah, it's fine. Downgrading's good this week because I think most of us are okay now that most of us have Dusty. A lot of us have Short. Some of us have Shea. So, and now we get extra CCJ as well playing this week. So I think a lot of us are fine this week for players on field. So I think it's definitely a downgrade as much as you can week. Do you think Chera is a good M8? Any suggestions on possible M8s like Chera? I'm not sure why Chera is not scoring very well, but with Fife out, excuse me, sorry, super tired. I don't think there's a lot of good M8s, so I'll have a quick look for you. At like 400k. We just spoke about Pendlebury after the buy, could be okay. Rao's coming down in price. Baz isn't playing well and he's lost his mid-time as well, so I still don't mind Adam Sard for 430k in defense, if you can DPP that. There's not a lot here. probably Pendlebury after the bye, but Pendlebury has been injured this year. Chera's just not playing well. Chera for 400 is still not the worst thing though, so you probably want to get it like a 90 average. So I think Chera's or Pendlebury or Rao, probably. Rao's coming back, so let him drop a few. Because you can't really bring Chera this week, but yeah, have a look at it after the bye rounds. Look at Chera, look at Pendlebury, look at Rao. Any rookies you think could be downgrade options? Reeves, CCJ, Bianco, and fingers crossed we get some named, because that's pretty much it. Luke Edwards as well, but I don't know if he holds with Tim Kelly coming back, so I'm not sure. And he doesn't have a good buy. Who are some good forward options that could be possibly upgraded to, who are between 350 and 450? I've been over this a few weeks ago. There's none. If you're paying for that, you're looking at an 85 average probably. So I think Langford's too expensive now. I don't like Jeremy Cameron. I don't trust him. Zach Bailey's okay. He needs goals to score, so I think Bailey can probably average 80 for the rest of the year. Robbie Gray, I think, probably goes 80. Aaron Norton's averaging 85, and he has a decent fixture, so I actually don't mind Aaron Norton for 415. So I think you could go Astro Nort, and then hope he has a really massive game of 160 somewhere. So again, Taylor Walker as well for 420k, but Taylor Walker will probably need a rest at some point, and a lot of us have poor forward cover with like Harry Jones and Waterman and stuff like that, so we all have to trade Porter. So there's some suggestions, but yeah, don't expect more than 85 average. I'd probably go Norton at 420, but if you can get up to Langford, I'll do that, or Hind. Well, Hind's a bit risky now, but we'll see. Hey George, what do you think of Toby Green when he comes back? Yeah, not sure. Coming off injury, long history of injury history. Probably averages somewhere in the 90s, and they don't need him in the midfield. They've got, Tom Green now. Canilo's coming back, so I don't really see him. Find it hard to see him getting mid-time. And forward, he probably averages low 90s, mid 90s, playing that forward role. So I'm not a fan, to be honest, but could work at the right price. Yeah, if he comes down a bit more and shows some form, then I guess you could, but not right now. Are there still going to be 3 trades this week, or is it just 2 since we got 4 this week? So it's 4 this week and next week, Daniel. I've gone Reeves, Whitfield, and since my season is over, Pau Pepper. I wouldn't go Pau Pepper because I don't think his CBAs were very good. Go. I know he's averaging 88. I think his CBAs were poor though. There's no one really else in that range. I don't know why I find that funny, but I would, yeah, at that price range it's all bad. So it's like, try and pick an 85 average player, and I think the most likely is Aaron Norton with a decent fixture. So with key forwards, you want the Crows, because the Crows don't have whenever Tom Hawkins plays the Crows, I think they've already played. I mean, the Crows they're playing one key defender that's played 10 games for his entire life. So I would go Norton for fun. Nathan Mitchell, that first video was hilarious. For you, not so much for me. It's the reality that referring to my weekly video where I might disappear for a week after I am 400 points below par that week. By the way, is it worth downgrading Rowe to Paddy Dow? No, don't go Paddy Dow. Don't do it. He sucks. He can't play. I feel like Carlton will play him for the rest of the year and help me with the round 14 bye. Paddy Dow sucks. Just just find any rookie that's playing in that round. I don't know if there is one, but don't pick Dow. He sucks. That's the thing. He had a big preseason. 4.5 years in the system. Is he going to magically start being a good player now when he's shown nothing for 4.5 years besides a 1 or 2 good preseason games? I don't see it. Johnny, just curious, who's the we and us you're talking about? Do you mean yourself and you are incorrectly referring to yourself as we us. I just say it. Like I say we, the channel, we all, I don't know. I should say I, but I'd say we because I don't know. I don't know. English not good. Hey George, is Jaime Bianco the right call? Yes. Supercoach buds, I Trade Heaney. Not anymore. Hey George, bit torn on what to do with Dev. That upsets me when I see Dev. He's so good and I traded him. Makes me sad. 328k with 35 break even and has a buy this week. Do I hold him so I can make more cash or go trade him to Steel? I have no other rookies to trade to as they are worth way less. So Steel is break even's probably blown out now because he waited to get to 370k to start performing again. Oh, sorry, my Supercoach thing's laggy. Break even is 63. You can get him in. You can get him in this week if you want, but you just got to make sure you're okay for the next buy. You're almost. They're probably going to go up in price the same amount. I have no other rookies to trade and they're worth way less. I guess if it secures you still, I really like Dev and they're giving him mid-time now. I think Dev could pull a James Jordan based on what I've seen the last month or so from him. Maybe not 80s average, but I think like 80, not 90s average, but maybe like lower 80s. My trades are RCD. Okay, so I think you can do it, but just realize what you're doing next week. I think it's probably going to be more useful to hold him, to be honest, because I think most people are okay this week and screwed next week. I'd actually probably hold Dev after the buy. I guess it depends on what else you got going on. But yeah, if you're okay for next week, you could, but I probably wouldn't. Ryan, my trades this week are RCD, Waterman and Burns, out for Boak, Reeves and Holmes. Okay, have Whitfield already. And he has to, so you can use Poulter and Jordan to get a 1 up, 1 down. That's all good. I don't like Boak. Already had like 1 or 2 soft tissue injuries this year. Reeves is good, and Holmes' job security seems absolutely horrendous. So I don't like Boak. I'd pick Wines over him if you can afford it. Boak's also last 2 years he hasn't really finished years off pretty well. So I really don't like the Boak pick. I wouldn't do it. Look for somebody else, and then yeah, maybe that's all you can afford. You could get rid of James Jordan over Burns and then get a better player out. I know Jordan's scoring well, probably going to score better than Burns, but it gets you a hell of a lot of a better forward, of a better midfielder this week. So that's what I would do. And then Holmes, well, I think you might have to wait. You could go Newcomb if you're prepared to cop donuts if he doesn't play, because he'll play after, it sounds like, but Holmes is like only going to play based on injuries, so yeah. So I don't love the trades, but I would go Jordan out over Burns to get a much better midfielder. Dan Marshman, thanks George. I moved to Erlen, Whitfield and Reeves when I heard the buy rules, and I'm cashing Zorka in for Hall. Play 2 extra games, give me 100k. Yeah, it makes sense. I know you're trading at F1, but you get 2 extra scores and 100k. It's pretty significant. Thoughts on my Megapod, Pepper Pid, mid forward. So it means Pout Pepper. Break even 16, average 88, 3-run average 103. He could be a stepping stone to danger if you have the trades or dodgy F6. Pout Pepper, I guess he has a ceiling, but I don't think he was playing mid-time, so I'm trying to get my head around this pick. Let me just footy wire Pout Pepper real quick. He had a spike game of 130. Getting 20 touches. His disposal count's pretty good. You know, he could be... I really don't know on Pout Pepper. It's one where you have to do your own research. Sorry, I haven't researched it myself, but I just saw low CBAs. Doesn't have the best history on or off the field. So, why was he out for so long as well? Was it injury? I'm not sure. That's one where I'd probably watch footage on AFL Stats Pro, so I can't help you here, but yeah, I haven't really watched much of Pout Pepper, but on face value from what I've seen, don't love it. And here's the thing with Dangerfield. I don't think I'm interested in I'm not getting Dangerfield this year. One, he's had no preseason. Two, he might not even play this week after the bye. Yeah, and just like after watching Lachie Neale struggle, like struggle for fitness, it makes me think that, you know, Danger, no preseason, injured all year basically. Like, what do you expect from him? It's by the time he drops enough in price, then I guess you could make the switch Pepper to Danger in like 4 weeks or something. Danger comes down to 500, then he should outperform that, but I don't think he'll go 110. I think Danger's like low hundreds maybe, but it really depends how he pulls up after his injury. So, yep. I'm not sure. I guess you could do it. I wouldn't be going Danger within the next 3 weeks though. It's a very hard one. I guess you could plan for it, and if Danger doesn't come good, you go somebody else. But again, I haven't been helpful for this at all. Sorry, I would do more research into Pepper, but I'm not sure. All I remember is low CBAs, so that just is a bit of a red flag for me. Yeah, Lord, this doesn't look like good. You sabotaged me, telling me to bring in Heaney, and then telling me you didn't, trying to get us all to go down the ranks so you can go back up. Shame on you, George. And then someone commented, he always does that. Yeah, it was just a bit of an impulse thing. So with Heaney, you know what kind of saved me from the pick? I'm really sorry that I thought about the pick, because in hindsight, once I saw him limping, I was like, you idiot, you actually recommended him. But with Heaney, my stance on Heaney was only go Heaney if he's the only one you can afford. Otherwise, don't pick Heaney. Don't go Heaney if you don't have to. So, yeah. Once I saw him limping, I was like, shame on you, George. But yeah, exactly, shame on me. I'm very sorry for that. I should know better. I've played this game long enough. But with Heaney, I think he'll, based on what we've seen, some weeks he's good, some weeks he's bad. After the bye, he probably starts dominating for a few weeks, maybe misses a game here or there. But yeah, one thing is I remember that how, you know, small medium forwards always destroy Carlton, like always. And I remember Dusty doing that in the first round. And Heaney's done it to him for years now, so that's made me figure that maybe they'll clamp down on Heaney a little bit more. So yeah, should not have recommended. Baz Gaming, is trading Zorko to Hall a good idea? Zorko will not play the next 2 weeks, and I could get Bont with extra 100k. Yes, if it gets you Bont, yes. Zorko's a tough one, because in the podcast I was saying I think you can if it nets you money and you get 2 players playing, and JD was like, no, you hold Zorko. I was like, well, Zorko CBAs have gone down, plus he's a flog, plus you get 2 scores, plus you get 100k. I think that makes sense to trade him. So I guess he's F1, so I can see why you wouldn't, but yeah. And I think Hall can match Zorko roughly. Some might disagree, but that's fine. What do I do with Zorko and May? I'm looking at McCreary to Reeves, Warner to Hall, and RCD to Kelly this week. Hold May and Zorko if you can. May, because May, who do you go to if it's May? Go up to Whitfield, go up to Stewart. You don't go to Ridley. You go down to Houston. Again, Heaney's a prime example. Don't trade in players that are carrying an injury. Now, I don't know if Houston's injured or not, but I would hold if you can. Hold if you can. Just cop it and hold, I think. If you have a ton of trades, I guess you can trade Zorko to a 600k mid, like a Lions or something. No, wait, not Lions. Like Took Miller or something. That'd be pretty funny. Zorko to Miller, they're nemesis to each other. So I guess you could do that. But yeah. I have to be this week with Zorko. But yeah, if you're trading Zorko, I think you either go down to Hull or you go up to a super primo mid. That's not playing. That's playing for the next 2 rounds. Hey George, I want to get CCJ in, but my only options are to downgrade Waterman or R2. To get him, R2 has been extremely disappointing pick to me, and he hasn't been able to get selected. he could, if he does, he could easily go 280k. I would give up on R2, just cut ties with him. If he plays, I guess maybe you can hold, trade the other one, but R2 is not really a natural halfback, I think. We watched footage of him, like, in the Discord. JD does, Jackson Davies YouTube channel, he does, like, film reviews in a Discord, and he didn't like what he saw from R2 in down back, so, yeah, badge up security, and once McDonald's back, although McDonald's probably, like 6 weeks away, so then R2's, like, dead forever, but, yeah, I'd cut ties with R2. Daniel, I could have got ridden, yeah, this is really long, hold up. Could have gotten rid of Butts, Warner and Bergman and brought in Whitfield, Holmes and Reeves. I'm also going to trade out RCD, but struggling who to bring in. Do I bring in Stewart and get closer to a final team, or do I bring another rookie and get cash next week? If there's a rookie available, you go the rookie. If not, sounds like you're fine for this round, then you can go like Stewart the week after. I think his break-even's fine. Depends on if the rookie's available or not. And he also says at this point I have 14 players available for the last buy. That's not good, and this is unfortunate. I'm in the same boat. Worse, actually. So, yeah. If Newcomb gets named this week, I suppose you go him. If not, probably just go Stewart and bank the points this week. Hopefully someone pops up next week. Thoughts on Pendles? I already answered that. So, it's like not the worst option for his price, but you don't really want to be paying that for your M8. You can look at Rao in a few weeks, possibly. Or Chera if he turns around his form. Chera did play the Dogs, so that could explain why. Still expect Chera to average somewhere like low 90s or something. Okay, someone's posted the team, so it's a bit too much for me to... I'm not really doing team reviews. Like, not doing your team for you at the moment. So if you're going to post your team, like, just answer, like, do I do this or this, rather than post your entire team in a video. He says, how can I get Whitfield? It's too much to read, can't concentrate, sorry. Rank these forwards: Dale, Langford, Dangerfield. 1 Dale, 2 Langford, 3 Dangerfield. Putting Langford in front of Dangerfield is quite embarrassing and could look pretty silly, but I'm picking the guy that's got the role, it seems. There's always going to be that slight risk, but who's cheaper, not coming off an injury, had a great preseason versus a guy that is a superstar but had no preseason, been injured all year, so, and who's much more expensive, so Dale, then Langford, then Dangerfield. In 4 weeks time, probably Dangerfield might be the top of that list, but right now, third on that list. Is trading to O'Brien still an option? Nah, I wouldn't do it anymore. Last week, yes. This week, no. What's the point? You just got to get Grundy back. Have you gone off the Dangerfield pick? What's your reason behind this? I've explained that in that video. No preseason, watching Neil with no preseason and injuries throughout the year. Yeah, Dangerfield has injuries throughout the year. I think Danger, you wait like 3-4 weeks if you can somehow get him as your last upgrade. So, yeah, I would wait. Another question by Jared. Should we wait to get Danger or go for a cheaper option to get Langford? I'm banking the points next week and getting Langford. Yeah, I'm happy with Langford. I think there's a lot of scope there that's not without risk, but yeah. I've been slouching this whole time. I should sit up straight. I think like 10 more questions. So, yeah. So yeah, I would wait on Danger. Look, you can wait on Danger if you want, but I'm just going to grab Langford now, bank the extra money, bank the points now, and then, you know, Danger's not even certain to play this week, so. Austin, what do you think of RCD, Flynn and Warner to steal CCJ and Ned Reeves? Yep, that's fine. Just make sure you're looking after your last buy if you're going steal. I'm not sure many people are in a position to go steal. Parrish and Langford or Jelly and someone like Bolton or even Danger if he plays next to. No, I go Parrish and Langford. Stephen McKenzie. Is it worth trading the likes of Luke Ryan? Mantell, I think he means Mansell, and Fullerton to reach 18 players for around 14 or save trades in field 16. I guess it depends. If you can save, if you have 3 injury trades, and 3 is still very low by the way, it should be like 4 or 5. But if you can finish the team with 3 trades left, then you can flip those players if your final team, because you don't make these trades, is 2 or less, then I would just cop it. Hey man, I can't actually hear you. Sometimes it's like that. People have issues hearing me because I have to turn my volume, my microphone down a bit. Oops, it was a bit down today. Lift that up, so that I don't get as much background noise. But yeah, it's very annoying hearing my computer beep all the time. Hey George, great video as always. Thank you, Nick. Has had a busy not paying attention to Supercoach week when Frederick was on the bubble, so have him and Highmore at D7, D8. Want to use his extra trades to ditch one, but can't decide who's worse to keep. Thoughts? Get rid of Frederick. I don't think he's playing. It doesn't seem like he's playing at all, so unless he plays this week, I'd get rid of Frederick. I think there's a spot for Highmore with Geary out now, so we'll see. Which of these mids, so Liam Barry, which of these mids is best to trade in at the end of the round? Lyons, Parrish, McLuggage, Guthrie, Miller, or Kelly? 1 Parrish, 2 Lyons, 3 Miller, 4 Guthrie, 5 Kelly. Don't worry about McLuggage. He's lost his role's not consistent enough. So yeah, Parrish, Lyons, 1 and 2, then Miller, then Guthrie, and only Guthrie's 4th. I would have Guthrie possibly 2nd or 3rd. I'd have Guthrie over Miller if it wasn't for the injury. So, and then Josh Kelly. Look, Josh Kelly could be number 1 of this slot, but it's Kelly. You don't know. You don't know what his coach is going to do, and you don't know if his body's going to hold up. So it's simple as that. Bont, Parrish, or Took. The answer, if you're comparing Bont to anyone, it's always Bont. The only one who comes close is his partner in crime, Jack McRae. The answer is always Bont. Hey George, would you recommend flipping either May or Heaney to allow for 18 in round 14? I also need 2 of Walsh, Kelly, and Neil. How would you rank them? Okay, so Walsh over Kelly and Neil quite easily. He's the one that you have the most faith in his body at the moment. And Neil is so difficult because I don't think he looked good, but that's the thing. He's first came back a little early, but he's the ultimate professional. But again, he had no preseason as well, so that could play into it. So with Neil, I just want to know for sure what Neil we're getting this year, and I would rather wait like 3 weeks for Neil, to be honest. I just need to know. Do you just assume that he comes good and maybe you cop a few downish games, get him for 560, and then he starts, going berserk for a bit? Not sure. I think I'd even go Kelly over Neil. Just because he's been fit. He's had 2 full pre-seasons. Barely had an injury the past 2 years, but it's still Kelly. It's still role risk. Both Kelly and Neil are risks. If I saw a bit more from Neil, that he ran out the game a bit better, I'd say Neil, but I just need to see it to know. It's easy to just say, oh yeah, it's Lockie Neil, he'll come good eventually. You don't know that for sure. But look, it's likely that he will. We saw Whitfield, he came good after 4 weeks, so 3 or 4 weeks. You would expect Neil's the same, especially with another week off. He did train fully, so maybe you just go Neil over Walsh. No, sorry, you go Walsh and then maybe Neil over Kelly, probably. It's a really hard one. Just because it's Neil. Dilemma, you can only take one of Reeves or Jones. Probably just take Reeves. Cheaper. Better buy. I do think both you really need though, but probably Reeves. Just because of the buy rate. If the buys were flipped, I'd say Jones. Steele or Kelly. Steele affects my buys a bit more and is higher ceiling and more consistent. Kelly helps my buys, but still has a lower break even. So you get Kelly in a round plus 40k, or Steele and one less round and less 40k. Oh, it's so hard. It's basically Steele in a donut versus Kelly and 40k. I don't know how to answer that. I think it's like the long term. I trust Steele so much more than Josh Kelly. It only takes like 2 games of playing forward for Kelly, or 1 game through injury, and then Steele has won the trade. So I don't know. Just don't trust Kelly fully. It's probably worth the risk with Kelly though. This is a really, really hard question. If I knew what Kelly... If you told me Kelly wasn't going to play forward for the rest of the year, I would go Kelly. But I would full send Kelly because he has an extra play and you get more money. Just because that buy is so brutal. Probably get an extra 120 from Kelly, so... Yeah. I don't know. Thoughts on Porter to Hall this week? I think that's fine. Porter's going to make more money, but so is Hall. Hey Joes, what are your thoughts on Toby Green? I think I answered that, so probably don't worry about Toby Green. If he comes down a bit more, it shows that he's fully over the shoulder injury. So, see how we go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Back to that Steele versus Kelly question. It's so hard. Probably Kelly, but yeah. Only because of the buy. If it was flipped, it wouldn't even be a debate. I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you guys soon.